quite a lot of you turned up this evening. Thank you. Good to see you all. It is United Nations International Day of Happiness today, in case you didn't know, which seems quite appropriate. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you the President-elect of the International Olympic Committee, Kirsty Coventry, and President-elect will say a few words, and then we'll go to Q&A as quickly as we can. So, over to you.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening to you all. I just wanted to start off by really thanking the IOC members, the membership, the trust and confidence that they have put into me. It's a huge honor. I'm really looking forward to serving our movement. I also want to thank the other candidates. It was an incredible race. And through this journey of 6 months, there were so many very good exchanges amongst all members, including candidates. And I'm really looking forward to bringing them together, sitting down and identifying some of the very good ideas that we've all shared and realizing how we can work together to move those ideas forward. So thank you very much for being here, and happy to answer some questions.
Okay, as usual, if you'd like to indicate, we can take a question. Okay, first one looks like David Owen, I think, at the back. David.
Thank you, Mark. Congratulations, Kirsty. When Thomas Bach was elected in Buenos Aires, we were treated within about 10 minutes the spectacle of a Russian official racing across the foyer with a mobile phone with Vladimir Putin on the end of it. I wonder whether you've yet received greetings from prominent politicians, and if so, who was the first to congratulate you?
Thank you. I've actually just picked up my phone. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I really spent time, and again, I was very, I think, overwhelmed by all the congratulations from the members. And then what I'm looking forward to is jumping on the phone with my parents. So they will be the first phone call that I will be making after this.
Okay, Rachel Axon down here. Just down here. Yep, thank you very much. And then we'll go to Wakako.
Yes, hi Kirsty, Rachel Axon, Sports Business Journal. You didn't stress this during the campaign, the difference of you being the first female candidate, the first from Africa, but those certainly have informed your life experiences. I'm wondering how those will inform how you will operate in this role.
100%, thank you. Well, I'm extremely proud of both of those different identities that make up me. And I'm grateful as well to have been given a platform to work extremely hard over the last 6 months with IOC members to really, as you said, make sure that they know who I am and what values I hold dearly. And it wasn't just about being a woman or being from Africa. I'm so grateful that the members saw more than just gender or where I come from.
Okay, let's go to Wakako, and then we're going to go to Tarek in the back. Yep.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Hi.
Wakako Yuki from Yomiuri Shimbun. Congratulations indeed.
Thank you.
Were you, in a way, how are you aware of the seismic significance that indeed you made history today? And also, in a sense, when a new era is opened in history, often the cases there are very strong gain wind. You would have headwind, and you are no stranger to those situations in your career. What is your wisdom to deal with it? And lastly, if I may, 3 months of transition. What
Yes.
would you like to learn from President Bach, especially his philosophy being the president of the IOC?
Thank you. Well, this is a first in our movement, if I can start with your last question, where we have a proper handover transition, which I believe is so important. There will be numerous discussions over the next 3 months, but I'm looking forward to that. President Bach is leading our organization and has led our organization extremely well over the last few years. Not always easy, as many of you know. There's been many difficulties that he's overcome. So I would like to be able to have those conversations with him on, how he decided to tackle those and what advice he could give me for the future in terms of that. In terms of the significance of being the first woman, being the first African, I have to say that there have been incredible women that have come before me. One of them sitting in the room today, which I might get a little emotional about, with Anita de France, a huge inspiration to me and to many women. And I was just really proud that I could make her proud. She was the first woman to run for this position. And like I said, she inspired me. She's been a huge mentor of mine since I came into the movement in 2013. And it is significant. I think it will take a little bit of time to truly set in. But women like her paved the way for women like me, and I want to pave the way for younger generation, especially because I have 2 young daughters. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to Tarek, and then we're going to come across to you, sir, and then you, sir, and then we'll come back over here. Tarek, yeah, just do it. Yeah.
Evening, Kirsty.
Tarek.
You've got to get to work now. Now you've got this bit. Can I ask?
Yes.
Not this evening.
Lots of things in your in tray. May I just ask about 2 of those? Mm-hmm. You're going to have to, at some point, go to the White House and deal with Donald Trump in this moment where, a lot of the world is uncertain about how America is acting. A lot of people in the world are uncertain whether they can even get into the United States. Now, with the Los Angeles Olympics, what is your message to the world? Is it a safe place for people all over the world to get into? And what will you tell Donald Trump? And the second big thing in your in tray is the World Anti-Doping Agency. In the past, it seems certain states have been given preferential treatment, maybe. Does the IOC have a role to play in getting the credibility of the doping system back? And what is your plan for that? You served on the ITA board. Thank you.
Thank you. Firstly, when it comes to anti-doping, and being a former Olympian, no, not former, an Olympian and a former athlete, it's incredibly important, and everyone should be held to the exact same standards. Our athletes are held to the same standards, and the entire movement around them should be held to the same standards. That's something that I will not waver from. It's very important for me that happens. And we may have a bit of work to do to make sure that actually is put into place. But one of the congratulations that I received was from the WADA president and vice president and director general, and we'll have a strong working relationship. In terms of your first question, when it comes to the USA and LA, I have been dealing with, let's say, difficult men in high positions since I was 20 years old. And first and foremost, what I have learned is that communication will be key. That is something that will happen early on. And my firm belief is that President Trump is a huge lover of sports. He will want these games to be significant. He will want them to be a success. And we will not waver from our values and our values of solidarity and ensuring every athlete that qualifies for the Olympic Games has the possibility to attend the Olympic Games and be safe during the Olympic Games.
Okay, gentleman here. Yep, just that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Elias Makori from Kenya. Congratulations, Kirsty.
Thank you.
I could be wrong, but looking around, there's barely any African journalists covering these elections. I doubt if there's a Zimbabwean journalists here. Does that show you the challenge that you have to spread the Olympic movement in Africa? And do you think Dakar 2026 will be a good place to start? What are your thoughts about perhaps in your presidency, Africa getting a chance of being voted to host an Olympic Games?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, I think Dakar 2026 is, as they have said, going to be welcoming the world. I have been chairing that commission for the last few years, and I'm really proud and excited of the work that they're doing, and I know it's going to be an incredible time for the world to see who we are as Africans and what we mean and what we stand for, and how we are willing to embrace everyone. And in terms of the work, there's always work that we need to do. But this honor that I've been given to serve our movement is going to allow for us to have a greater reach into new regions, but also to shine a light onto new regions. And this is part of the uniqueness of the Olympic movement, the diversity that we all have. And I truly believe that this decision today is showing that universality and that globalness of our movement.
Okay, gentleman in the stripy jumper there with his hand up. Yeah, just here. Yeah, and then we'll come across to you, sir. I think you wanted a question.
Hi, Kirsty. Congratulations. You've obviously had a huge amount of support from female IOC members, possibly Nita Ambani. Do you agree that now it won't be a good look if India's 2036 bid is accelerated to targeted dialogue before President Bak leaves office?
Well, I would like to have a little bit of let's let this sink in and talk some work in a few days. But at the end of the day, there is a process in place, and that process has been ongoing, and that will remain for as far as I know for the next few months. I do think that we need to involve the members in the selection of future hosts, and I have a few ideas. And I'm willing to share those with you maybe next week or the following.
Okay, gentleman here in the red jumper, and then lady in blue, and then we'll come over here to Rob. Yeah.
Hi. Kirsty. Congratulations to Sashish Sharma from Sport Intern. I hate to give you another big subject to deal with, but the issue of protecting women in sport has been obviously one that's much talked about now that we have our first female president. Does that slightly change the shift from the IOC's point of view? Because up until now, certainly in terms of, say, transgender athletes, the IOC has pretty much left it to federations to decide on how they want to go about with that particular subject. Thank you.
Thank you. I have answered the question many times in the last few months, but my stance is that we will protect the female category and female athletes. I want to work together with the international federations. I want the IOC to take a little bit more of a leading role, and we're going to do that by setting up a workforce, a task force that will look and analyze everything. We don't need to redo the work. The IFs have done the work, but we are going to bring everyone together, sit down, and have a little bit more unity in the discussion.
Okay, yep, lady there with got the microphone.
First of all, congratulations, and today is a day of a celebration. And allow me to quote from an interview which just done not long ago, when you said that you had to grow a thick skin sometimes to be able to bear those kind of difficulties and sometimes accusations that you came across with during this campaign. So the question is, how heavy that backpack that you're putting down today? And of course, I wonder if you had a chance to talk to your husband, your family. So what about their support? And did you have a chance to sort of have a word with them?
I have. I got to give my husband a big hug and kiss my kids. So that was really, really special. I don't know if my little girl, she just came running up, well, my eldest, and she said, "Mom, you won." I don't know. I don't think she knows what that means or how it's potentially going to change our lives. but they have been incredible. I have an incredible husband. I have an incredible support network, and I wouldn't have been able to have been sitting up here today without them. So I also want to thank them and acknowledge that.
So how heavy that backpack is that you're putting on today?
Well, you know, we've got work to do, but I'm really excited about that work because there's so many incredible opportunities that we have as the Olympic movement to really bring unity, especially in a very divided world today.
Okay, Rob at the back there, and then we'll come to gentlemen here. Yeah.
Hi. Congratulations, Rob Harris from Sky News. This issue does come up a lot, but Donald Trump has said transgender women should be banned from women's sport at the Olympics. Will you comply with him, or are you willing to stand up to him and say you won't be ordered around? And just, you know, more widely, are the biggest issues for you dealing with this gender eligibility issue, as well as all the controversy over around Russia's potential return to sport?
I think there's a number of different challenges that we're going to face as the Olympic movement, and we're going to tackle those together. So in terms of Donald Trump, again, it's going to take communication. As I just said, we're going to create a task force that's going to look at the transgender issue and the protection of the female category. And once we've made the decision collectively as the IOC with the international federations, that decision will be made very clear, and we won't move from that decision.
Okay, and Russia.
Well, again, you know, I believe at the end of the day we need to do anything and everything to protect and support athletes from all conflict areas. We have numerous conflicts, and a number of them happening on my continent. So, again, we need to sit down as the Olympic movement and have a very serious conversation around how are we going to deal with more and more conflicts, and how are we going to protect and support athletes that are coming from these conflict areas.
Okay, gentleman there, and then we're going to go to Graham and his neighbour.
Perfect. Hello. First of all, congratulations. Historic moment. First female being the head of the IOC, the top body of sports in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Bach navigated the IOC through some very difficult times with COVID-19 pandemic, global tensions. Unfortunately, things today seem to be a little bit similar, if not even worse. First, how would you be able to tackle these issues, and what would be the next day of you? You know, there's a lot on your shoulders. And then one other thing, there are some criticisms and concerns about your political affiliations in Zimbabwe that have been raised. But, you know, now being the head of the IOC, perhaps there might be even more spotlight onto that. What do you have to say about it?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, I've never ever been successful as an individual. I've been successful because of a team. And what I've learned most over the last 6 months is I have an incredibly strong team within my membership. They are incredible people with many experiences, a lot of knowledge, and I'm going to lean on all of them. We're going to make decisions together. We're going to support each other. And for me, that's the only way that I'm willing to work. In terms of my country, I chose to want to try and create change from the inside. It gets criticized, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, I don't think you can stand on the sidelines and scream and shout for change. I believe you have to be seated at the table to try and create it.
Okay, let's go to Graham just here, yeah, and then gentleman next to him.
Thank you very much. Graham Dunbar from the AP. Congratulations, Kirsty. A question about athlete benefits. Back in the day at FINA, the swimmers had to, have a lawsuit in California before the prize money was increased. There hasn't been a lot of progress on relaxing Rule 40 on commercial issues, but Juan Antonio says that's easy to do. You can give athletes control of their footage, relax the broadcasting restrictions. What kind of tangible, better commercial deal might the athletes in Milan Cortina and Los Angeles be offered?
Well, thanks, Graham. Again, what I would like to do is at least take tonight to let this sink in and enjoy it. But what I do want to do is, as I mentioned before, is bring all candidates together and sit down and share some of these ideas that we've all had. and put them down on paper and agree on a way forward. So we will be able to look at ideas like this and what that could potentially mean, and then take it to the broader membership, the executive board, and the sessions.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah.
Hi, Yang Jiao from China Media Group. Congratulations, Mrs. Coventry. My question is, how do you evaluate the relationships between China and the IOC? And as the newly elected president, what's your plan to promote our relationships? Thanks.
Thank you. Well, the relationship between the IOC and China is very strong. It always has been, and it will continue that way. And for the IOC, we represent 206 national Olympic committees and many different international federations. So the relationships with every single individual is extremely important, and that will be something that I'll take my time with over the next few months. And then again also with the IOC members. So the entire stakeholder group will be able to take time to really get to know each other and strengthen on those relationships.
Okay, these two gentlemen here. Yes, so Brian. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Brian, and then the guy here with the cream shirt.
Brian Pinelli with Hula Sports. Congratulations, Kirsty. I was wondering, and I know you've talked about this a lot, but if you can share a little bit more about your husband, the support role he plays with your two young daughters while you travel all corners of the globe, and a little bit more about your time in the U.S. I mean, and not just obviously competing at Auburn, swimming, but any other time. And what just caught me, I see on your Twitter X account that you put New Jersey, USA. I'm just curious what your connection is to New Jersey and the New York metropolitan area, if I'm reading that right.
I have no idea, so I don't know if it's the right account. Yeah. No, it should. I've never spent any time in New Jersey, so I'm not sure what that's about. But I do want to say a very quick hello to my Auburn family. I had a lot of messages from my teammates when we won our NCAAs for the very first time that started coming in throughout this week. So that teamwork, that experience doesn't ever go away. It's a lifelong friendship, so thank you and War Eagle to them. Yeah, I forget what your other question was.
It's just the support that you receive from
I'm sorry, yes.
Background.
My husband and I, we had to make a decision when I was given the job of Minister of Youth, Sport and Art in Zimbabwe. We knew that that was going to be a full-time commitment from my point of view. I also was just pregnant with my first daughter. So I think baby girls also bring me luck, other than just also being in Greece. And we had made a decision as a couple that we wanted one of us to always be available for the kids, and he was able to keep his work online. So we really benefited from that. But my parents live really close by, and we have a really strong network that supports us. And part of our culture is it takes a village to raise a child, and we are certainly a couple that does that.
Okay, yeah, gentlemen, and then the lady to your right, yeah.
Mrs. Coventry, congratulations, Ronendorf and Aretz. Two questions. One, regarding international conflict. Beyond protecting the athletes, has the IOC got any role on the merit of conflicts? You mentioned Africa, there's the Middle East, there's Russia. Mm-hmm. And another thing, if you could elaborate on key figures in your campaign, because it's a bit hidden from us while it's going on. So who would you like to thank within the campaign itself?
Thank you. I will withhold that for now because I still need to see some of them. But they know who they are that helped me with my campaign, and I truly want to thank them. Not just because they helped with this historical win, but they truly believed in me and my vision from the get-go. So I'm very appreciative to them. When we're looking forward, we'll keep pushing. In terms of the conflicts, as I said, it is going to take what I think is creating again a group of us as the IOC to sit down and really come up with some policies or a framework. There's more and more conflicts. Each conflict is slightly different to the other. but I do think we need to create a general policy or framework that will guide us in how to deal with these different conflicts from around the world.
Yep, and then we'll come over here. Duncan. Yep.
Hello. First of all, Ms. Coventry, congratulations.
Thank you.
I dare to say my forecasts were correct. And as a woman, I'm doubly happy.
Thank you.
How do you feel that your election took place in Greece, the country that gave birth to the Olympic Games?
Thank you. Well, it didn't just give birth to the Olympic Games, it also allowed me to win my first Olympic gold medal in 2004. So it holds a very special place in my heart. It's been an incredible experience being here and visiting ancient Olympia a few days ago. It was very calming to be in the place where it all started. And it's, again, I said to the members that as a 9-year-old girl watching the Olympic Games in Barcelona 92 on the TV, I didn't ever think that I would now be in this position where I get to give back to a movement that's changed my life. And I'm really honored, and it makes it even that much more special that I get to do that, and this has happened here in Greece.
Okay, we're coming to an end, I think. Let's go Juice Files. It's Duncan Mackay.
Hi, Kirsty. Duncan Mackay from the Zeus Files. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are your immediate plans? Because you're still Zimbabwe Sports Minister. Do you have plans to relocate to Lausanne on a full-time basis?
Yes, I do. Right now, I want to go and thank everybody for supporting me and really let this sink in and have a little bit of an embrace and a hug. But I will be moving to Lausanne. I will have the conversation with my president in Zimbabwe, and there's no way to do both. So they knew, and they were very supportive of me running in this campaign. And I believe that while they may be a little sad to say goodbye, they are also really proud that we'll be moving into another chapter.
Okay, probably the last question right over there. Yeah, I think a question from French media.
Bonjour, oui,
voilà.
Bruno Fraioli de sportbusiness.club. Je vais poser ma question en français. J'avais la question sur justement Lausanne, mais
Hold on.
je vais parler plus lentement.
Yes.
Perhaps I should speak slower, because that would be better.
Alice
What do you
Millard,
think
qui,
about Alice
s'est
Millard,
battue pour
who
le
also
sport féminin
fought
et les femmes
for
dans les,
women's sport and
le mouvement
women
olympique?
in
Merci.
the Olympic movement?
Et
Have you got a
félicitations.
thought for her?
Et aujourd'hui, c'est le printemps, c'est un jour de
It's the
renouveau.
spring today, so it is a time of renewal.
Thank you. As I had said before, there's been so many incredible women, and she's one of them that has broken down barriers for younger generation of women to stand on their shoulders. And I'm incredibly grateful for them to have broken through so many different cultural barriers that have allowed me to be standing here today. And as I'd mentioned, Anita de France was one of those women. And there's many, many more that have fought for equality. We still have a little ways to go. We really need to see the equality of female leaders throughout our entire ecosystem when it comes to international federations and national Olympic committees. And we will continue to fight for that.
Thank you very much. Well, that's 20 questions, which I think is a record in recent years. 20 questions and 20 answers. So thank you very much, Kirsty. Maybe a sign of the future. And I'm sure we'll be seeing everyone later. So thank you very much.
Thank you.